Top 3 killers: cancer, heart disease, diabetes. 1 in 3 people that you know will get one of these diseases. Now, every one of these diseases have something in common. Every disease that you'll ever get in your entire life comes from one thing. You know what it is? It's inflammation. It comes down to inflammation. Every disease that you get. Anybody ever been to the doctor and the doctor said, you go in and have a sore throat and the doctor says you have laryngitis? You're like, oh, thanks doc, I didn't know what it was. So laryngitis means the larynx, and itis means inflammation. So you walked in and said, hey, my throat's swollen and it hurts. Can you tell me what I have? And he just told you the same thing back in Latin. And like, oh man, thank you, I appreciate it. I wasn't sure what that was. Laryngitis is inflammation of the larynx. So he gives you medication that is designed to help with inflammation of the larynx. Our strategies really are not working so hot. This is what every one of us are paying right now. The average U.S. family in the American household, it costs you about $19,300 a year. Now you might tell yourself, well, you know, I haven't paid that. I didn't break anything. I didn't get a surgery. None of that happened to me. This is average what we pay in other areas, in taxes, in healthcare, and in all these other areas. This is what each one of us is paying right now. So again, when I say, or you ask yourself, how does this relate to me? Why is it important for me to teach this to other people? Why is this important for me to pick this up? This is why. I mean, if you want to moan and complain about taxes and they'll be doing their part, it has to start somewhere. It's going to have to start with us. The only way we're going to make a change here is from the ground up. This is not going to come from the top. There's too much money being made at the top with just symptom relief and pushing these things out. $120 billion a year. This has to come from the bottom up. Some of the symptoms of being sick. Let's look at this list real quick. Joint pain, low energy, cough, vomiting, urinary problems, diarrhea, fever, headaches, skin eruptions. These are all symptoms. Anybody ever had any of these symptoms? Raise your hand. Yeah, we've almost all had these symptoms. These are all symptoms of toxicity. So do you guys remember the spinach scare? Remember that spinach scare a couple years ago? I think like 9 people died from the E. coli that was in the spinach. Common denominator was with all 9 people that died, they all took an anti-nauseating medication.
So they couldn't get rid of the toxins.
They couldn't get rid of the toxins. So they ate the spinach that was tainted, sat in their belly, and they took a medication because $30 million a day of advertising tells you if you have an upset stomach, you take some pink pill or you take Pepto-Bismol, you take something and you coat that because God forbid we don't want you to be in pain because your brain says we don't want pain, we want pleasure. So we'll get rid of the pain for you. Most of the time, they're minor things and you can push them through. It causes problems elsewhere, but not to that point. So when E. coli hit them and they took these anti-nauseating medications, what happened to the toxin? Did it stay in or did it get out? It stayed there. Yeah, it stayed there. Killed them. Killed every one of them. Killed every one of them. The medication that they thought they were doing the right thing for. Now, God forbid that was your kid that took that. It's just amazing. It's appalling what's happening out there. And this is because we're letting marketing people run medicine. Yes, we're letting marketing people influence medicine. So let's say you go out camping and you see a beautiful lake there, a little pond there, and you pick the water up. You feel comfortable just drinking it? If you see little bugs in it, see a little green algae on top? No, you wouldn't drink it. What would you do? Boil it. Yeah, you get a big pot, stick it on the stove, and you boil it. You boil it until 212 degrees, kills off all the bacteria, let it cool down, and then you would drink it. What do we do when we get a fever? It's the first thing you're taught to do from TV. Take an aspirin.
The fever's there to fight the...
Yeah, take a medication, lower the fever. Why put yourself through that pain? The body is already designed to do this for you. The disease that you got, the fever you got, is a cure for the disease. That's how the body works. Now use simple ones like that. Same thing happens with heart disease. Same thing happens with diabetes. All diabetes is an inflammation of the pancreatic cells that produce insulin. So if you have all these sugar spikes, or you have all these hormone spikes from the hormones that they put into your milk, or you have all this synthetic stuff that they have into your plastic that affects the hormones, these actually wear out these cells. So they keep pushing the insulin because that's what you're telling it to do, and then there's only a certain amount that cell can do, and it dies. And the doctor says, well, you know what, your dad had diabetes, so it was just a matter of time before you got diabetes. What he didn't tell you was that you learn habits on eating. You learn habits on lifestyle from your parents. And that's really what we're seeing. So again, if you want to take this information and see how you apply it to your family and make something powerful happen at home, it's up to you. You're the leader of the family. You're the leader of the family. You're the leader of the family. And I would like to see be leaders of the community because this is killing us. This is killing us and bankrupting us. It's happening right now in front of us. But what happens here, it's a disempowering story. And where did that story really come from? See, I don't think pharmaceutical people are bad people. I just think they're greedy as hell. My roommate in college was a pharmaceutical sales rep. Now he's really high in Pfizer. He's a trainer. He's making $1 gazillion. I mean, I'm one of these people that like you no matter what. Look, I might fight you, we might beat each other up, but I still like him. At heart, I know he's a good guy. He's not a bad guy. He's got to provide for his family. Now, he provides a heck of a lot for his family, and there's plenty of money there. But here's what their mentality is. He's the sales guy. I'll tell you, I'm the sales guy. If I can make $1 million selling, medications, and I feel like I'm helping somebody, he doesn't care. I mean, not that he doesn't care that he's hurting somebody else. He's successful in what he does. He's extremely successful for what he does. Your doctors, extremely successful for what they do. The problem isn't that we have an insurance problem. The problem is that we have a paradigm problem. We have a thinking problem here as far as how healthcare is supposed to be. We think that, okay, if my blood pressure gets too high, it's time to go see the doctor. It's going to be the doctor's responsibility to fix it. Are you effing kidding me? Is there anybody that really thinks in here that their health is their doctor's responsibility? Raise your hand if you really think that. Okay. Well, I'm in a good group. Usually one person raises their hand. So I just had a conversation.